All right, welcome into the Backstage Pass, powered by the Sports Guys podcast. Nick Canizales, Brandon Morrell. He's actually let me take the reins for today, which is great. Hey, it's Wednesday, August 10th, first day back at school for a lot of schools around the state of Texas. It's crazy. We're already back in session. I'm ready for my kids to go back to school next week. I'm tired of them eating everything out of my house, and I'm broke. HEB's killing me every single day. So it's killing me. Hey, listen, we have a special guest. I covered this girl back in 2013 when I was at KC and in Waco. She was made the top 6 in The Voice in 2013. You have heard her all over the country. One of the best around. Holly Tucker, we appreciate you joining us this afternoon. How's everything been going?
Oh, it's been going so good. Just this last year, especially, has been a one of big changes for me, and just a lot of new things in my life. I've been continuing to do the music thing and put new music out there, but I got married, and so that was really exciting. And I've been working several different things in the behind the scenes aspect on the new music that I have coming out later this year. So it's just been busy, and I'm just excited about all of it.
Yeah, you mentioned new music, new songs, new albums. Tell us a little bit about that in the project and all the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone behind this. And what's new? What's new with this new music here?
Yeah, so this project is a labor of love and a labor of time. It was started back before COVID in 2019. I released the first, it was supposed to be a two-part album, and the first part released in 2019 at the very end of the year. And then I was going to release the second part at the end of 2020. Well, then COVID happened, and it basically tanked me. I mean, all my shows pretty much stopped. We couldn't do anything. So I had to go to online stuff only. And, I went a couple of different routes from other artists. I had to live, I was about to get married and all this stuff. And so anyway, I had to postpone this project for like 3 years. And so I finally this year am back up to where I'm touring enough, and I've gotten enough finances behind this part 2 of this album to release it this fall. So basically, this new music is going to be the completion of the part 1 that's already released. And it feels like I'm kind of completing that portion, that season of my life, really. And I've already got new music in the can ready and waiting for next year or the year after that. So it's really exciting.
Did you find the process to write more? As I've talked to so many artists here on the program, that's the one thing that they did was Zoom writes and co-writes or just solo writes out there. Writing was the big thing that's only people could do when the live shows were canceled during the pandemic. Did you find yourself writing more?
I did, absolutely. I got with some of my very favorite people here in the state of Texas, Miss Helene Cronin and Mr. Scott Sean White. You might know both of their names. They're incredible artists and songwriters in their own right. And I got to write a lot with them over the COVID period, and just really get a lot of the stuff out that I've been waiting to have time for. Like, because when you're on the road all the time, you don't have time to necessarily sit down and plug out a song, So I got to really use that time to focus on my feelings and what I was going through, and I got some great music out of it. And so COVID wasn't all bad, and it's coming to fruition now.
You mentioned staying busy. I mean, you mentioned traveling as well. Your summer shows, you've been all over the place. And we saw last week you sang the national anthem at the Rangers game. You're going back on the road this weekend, and for the rest of the month, kind of tell us about your schedule and life on the road and where you're headed.
Yeah, it is gearing up for a really busy fall and winter, which is usually my busiest time of year anyway. The summer throughout the whole winter is just, it's crazy busy for me. And I'm really glad that it's getting back to that. And even this year I'm getting to go lots of different places, lots of different states. A lot of times I have just stayed in the southern region because that's just how it happened. But like this weekend, I'm going to Michigan, and then next weekend I'm in New Mexico. And then in September, I'm in Florida singing for the NFL, one of their national anthem for the Jaguars.
Wow.
And so it's going to be a lot of fun just to get to go out and experience new things. And it's going to be a busy one. I'm excited.
She hit the big time. We knew she would, no doubt about that too. Since coming off that great show called The Voice. Hey, let's take me back before we talk about this latest single. Have you perform the single and another song of your choice today? You really hit home for me. A lot of the just great work you've continued to do ever since coming off the show. 2019, you talked a little bit about You're Gonna Know My Name. Hit on some of the highlights of that, because there's so many great songs on there, from Take Me Fishing to Country Music Won't Let Me, which I thought was a fantastic country song to put out there that gets people just line dancing in the saloons and all the bars. Hit on some of the highlights, because y'all really put together one hell of an album. You did.
Thank you so much for saying that. First of all, I really appreciate that. It's never easy for an artist to put together their own independent record, and especially put together the finances for it. So that just means a lot to hear you say that. But yeah, this record, it was, for the first time, I really put more of an emphasis on writing and co-writing all of the songs. Every single song on this album, I am a part of, either solo or a co-write. And that was new for me. Songwriting is something that I don't really consider myself, well, I don't know if I'll ever consider myself a master of. I just think that you're always learning. You got to keep that good attitude about it, and learn from everybody that you get in the room with, in the writing room with. So really, just for me, it was that. It was a lot of getting to know myself and my strengths and my weaknesses through the writing process. And, getting through all that nitty gritty stuff, I think, is what made for an even more personal and relatable record than I've ever had.
That was good. Well, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to tell you how important is it to relate to your audience and kind of be vulnerable, because we see just a lot of songs that people are happy, people are sad, they put on there, and it tugs at the heartstrings, and people can relate, and there's just something powerful when you listen to the words instead of hearing it. You're listening to those words, and people could just relate to different situations.
Yeah, it's so important, because anybody can sing a song about somebody else's story, and as long as you're able to perform it and really give it the feeling that whoever the writers are, whether that's you or other people, as long as you're able to touch people with that, I think you can touch people more just by the songs that you do write or are a part of writing, whatever. You've really gone through those things, and you just, for whatever reason, there's something in the voice and in the instrumentation that just hits the listener differently when the singer is actually a part of that. So I think that you really just have to be honest in your writing, and sometimes that's not always pretty. Sometimes that's you got to write about the ugly stuff too, as well as the good stuff. And for me, that's always been a little bit hard, because not that I don't like to be vulnerable, but I like to make people happy with my songs and be optimistic. And I like to be kind of a bright light instead of a downer, because this world is just so dark as it is. And so I really like to place an emphasis on making people feel good, but life isn't always good. So if you're going to be real and relatable, you got to sing about it all.
When you talked about the writing you did during COVID, how hard is it to pick songs for a record? I mean, you've got so much good stuff out there. You know your music better than anybody else, and your fans speak on behalf of that with comments and following you on social media. How hard is it to pick a single to put out, to pick 7 songs for an album? What challenges do you face going through that?
For me, it's really, and I think for a lot of artists, it's really about putting together songs that flow well together, because while people don't really listen to albums a lot, and I think we're starting to get back to that, where people will listen to an album all the way through. But that hasn't been a thing. It's been more of like a listen to single by single by single, and it hasn't really had a flow, I think. Just in the last 10 years or something like that. It's just been very single based, and what does this artist have out now? What do they have out now? And rather than listening to the whole album. But for me, that's what it's about. It's about telling a story and making it flow in a way that is really pleasing and just, I guess, inspiring to the listener. That's very important for me. I want to touch people, like, emotionally. I want to move people. And so that's what I try to do with my songs. I try to put in a little bit of everything, like the happy stuff and the real stuff, but it's got to flow. It's got to have a natural flow to it.
I was going to ask you, do you have some type of hook book? Or I know a lot of you, we've talked to a lot of artists, you know, they say, man, we're laying in bed, or I might wake up, or if I'm kind of sitting there on the porch doing nothing, I come up with a maybe a lyric or some type of hook, and I'm like, oh, I need to go ahead and get my phone or get my piece of paper out and start writing. Do you have something like that? Or is
Absolutely.
It phone?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got it on my phone. Just anytime because my phone is usually within arm's reach. And so that I know that if I get an idea, I can write it down right there. And or I can sing it into my phone. I have a little voice memo app thing. And so it's easy for me on the go anytime an idea strikes. I do have that.
Well, she's done it. I tell you what, take you back to the country music of the 90s. We've done a lot of the great artists here on the program, such as Shenandoah, Deborah Allen, and a host of others that, man, they talk about that sound coming back into the song she put out July 1st, Breaking In These Boots. If you haven't heard it, make sure you go check it out across all the digital platforms. And, of course, she's going to do us a favor by playing that one right now here on the show here. It's Holly Tucker. It is all yours.
All right. Well, this is Breaking In These Boots. Hope y'all like it.
Here we go.
Saw him in the window at the old boot barn. They were calling my name and had that perfect charm. Without a hesitation, I had some shiny new Luke Casey's, so I slid them on and slid my credit card. Then I headed on down to the Lone Star Bar. Gonna find me a cowboy that'll spin me around the sawdust floor and two-step to a Conway Twitty tune. I've been chained up in this city, gotta get back to my roots, so I'm breaking out and breaking in these boots. Oh. Don't get me wrong, I like that downtown city scene, but I'm tired of urban boys and them skinny jeans. I need my denim in a boot cut, a parking lot full of pickups, somewhere I can set my cowgirl free, 'cause this old rat race is taking it out of me. Yeah. Gonna find me a cowboy that'll spin me around a sawdust floor and two-step to a Dolly Parton tune. I've been chained up in this city, gotta get back to my roots, so I'm breaking out and breaking in these boots. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna scuff these leather soles, knock the dust off of my soul, cut loose and dance, and step out of the toes. Yeah, I'm gonna find me a cowboy that'll spin me around a sawdust floor and two-step to a Willie Nelson tune. I've been chained up in this city, gotta get back to my roots, so I'm breaking out and breaking in these boots. Yeah, I'm breaking out and breaking in these boots. There you go.
I'm coming right back because I'm ready to go honky tonky, Nick. I think we got to get us to Holly Tucker concert, no doubt. Because that's top 10 on radio. I'm just going to go ahead and call it right now. She's been pushing that since July 1st. But that is, and I've made some bold predictions here on the show, and many of them have come true. I like my percentages. 95% of predictions do well on this show, and like I said, I know when you kickstarted this back in 2019 and people were wondering about this platform, well, I think we're doing pretty good right now. But music like that is what it's all about. And that brings the true roots back to where it was. And I think just listening to so many great artists out there, like I said, we've had on the program, and you're talking about it now. You hear people like John Anderson doing his thing out there too, and just talking about how much it is to pick up a vinyl record and play music like that. One of my favorite things you do in there is the verse you talk about Conway Twitty. I mean, that's my favorite artist of all time. That's just a great lyric, no doubt. We got to take no doubt about that. Yeah, gone too early, no doubt. God rest his soul. We got to take a quick break, play a couple of bills here on the show, back here on the Backstage Pass live on the YouTube channel, and of course, always at the sportsguyspodcast.com live on the website. We'll come right back more with Holly Tucker. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. You never know where the conversation will take us. Back here in a minute. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass.
All right, we're back here with Holly Tucker. Amazing song just a while ago, live that you just listened to. I was going to ask, so you said, you're married now, and how do you juggle and how do you balance that fine line between, you got your family life and also your music career? How do you balance that? Because sometimes it's difficult. Uh-oh.
Did we lose her? Uh-oh. I guess.
No.
Control those. No. Well, hopefully you get the signal back. I tell you what, try to log back out and log back in. That might help us here on the show, because I know. Can you hear us now?
She might have to log off.
She may have to. Like I said, well, I tell you what, we'll talk to her there. Well, hopefully get her back there too as well, because we got to get her back here on the broadcast too. She did make a new fan. If you wanted to go ahead and private chat her there real quick. But she did make a new fan. Don, appreciate you tuning in too as well, because he just got some merchandise. So that's a good thing right there too at the same time. Don, appreciate you always supporting the artists out there too, because buying merch, it means a lot to all the independent artists out there. Nick, I know till we get the connection back, high school football is coming up here in just a few weeks here. Vider at Silsbee, we had the kickoff show there just a few weeks ago as we were talking with the Dave Campbell football. I tell you, man, this thing is going to be exciting for so many 6A and 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A teams around this area, too. I'm excited to see what P&G does. The Indians, of course, Jeff Joseph taking over there. Eric Peavy, always at LCM, the Westbrook Bruins, and the defending district champion Vider Pirates. This is going to be a fun season for high school football.
It is. I saw Jeff Matthews a couple weeks ago at Academy. He's fired up for the team. This team's always going to be scrappy. We'll see if Eric Peavy and LCM, can they maintain the momentum? Out a big year last year, A lot of people are thinking, well, is that a fluke or is this going to lay the foundation for years to come? We're gonna find out about it. PNG, like I said, new coach, tough district like always. Needle's going to battle as well.
Mm-hmm.
Brook and Beaumont United, Port Arthur Memorial. The Newton Eagles, state ranked like always. They're going to be fighting for a state championship. Just so many great teams that are going to be playing. Holly, can you?
Gotcha now.
He's back with us. See, sometimes it'll just reset its own thing, but that's why we call it a live show. That's what we do. You feel it when you have to. Like I said, that's just part of it. You just move on. The show must go on. You had that question for her too about the balancing act.
I was going to ask you. You got married, and the big thing always is how do you juggle? How do you juggle between your family life and also work life? Because you try to find that fine, happy balance to make both of them happy. Obviously, sometimes it doesn't help, but how do you do it? How do you balance your life out?
When I find out, I'll let you know. No, it's been an absolutely crazy first year here. I just got married back in February, so we're only 6 months into it. Actually, what is today? On the 12th. So in 2 days, we'll be 6 months married. And so much has gone on. I had a litter of puppies in there that I bred and got to good homes and all that stuff. And that was a lot of work. And I have a full-time day job at my church. And so it's just, plus the music stuff, it's a lot. And honestly, I can say that at this point in my life, like I have been overcommitting and I have not been doing everything well. And I'm a living, breathing case of what it looks like to not be succeeding in doing everything at once. I'm one person, so I'm learning that, and thankfully I'm moving some things around right now to where I can have a more manageable plate. But I would say one of the biggest things is really having a supportive group of people around you. And for me, that's always been my family. My family is part of my business. My mom is my she helps me run my books for me. My dad is my manager. My brother is my tour manager. And then, of course, my husband, he's just the best out of them all. Anything that I want to do, need to do, even if I have to be gone for extended periods of time, he's just supportive of me. And I would not be able to do it without that, because you have to have that. You can't have negative people around you all the time. So, I would point it back to other people if I could say it's anything.
Well, you certainly made an impression on one of our listeners out there, one of our viewers, my buddy Don. He tunes in from time to time. He just got some of your merch online there. So he definitely, I always appreciate him helping out the independent artists, because they have no idea how much, getting the merch out there is huge. And definitely, Don, appreciate you listening out there. Before we play the second track, I want to ask you about this, because going back to the album, which I thought was fantastic, You're Gonna Know My Name. When the weather cools off, I need to get the rod and reel out of the garage. I want you to take Nick and I fishing. Let's talk about that leadoff song from the album, which is Take Me Fishing. Where did you guys come up with that one?
So actually, that one's got a funny story. I don't know if you guys are Granger Smith / Earl Dibbles Jr. fans, but I follow him on Twitter and Facebook and all that, and he's hilarious. And one day he said this about women. He said, women really aren't all that complicated. It don't take much to make them happy. All you got to do is call them beautiful and take them fishing. And I thought that'd make a great country song. So I kind of played around with that hook a little bit, and I got my buddy Adam Wheeler to help me write it. And then when we do it live, this is not on the recorded version, but when I do it live, I get to mash up Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's Fishing in the Dark at the very end of the song, and it gets the whole crowd going, and it's just a really fun song to be able to do live. So that's kind of where all that came from.
Hey, speaking of performing live, what is it? What is give us like the firsthand the thrill and the excitement of playing in front of a live audience and a live crowd? What is that like? And I'm sure that never gets old, because it's almost like a high, just kind of a rush, and you have the audience in your palm of your hand.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. It is an adrenaline rush. It's pure bliss, honestly. Like, it's just knowing that, the gift and the talent that you've been blessed with, it's coming to fruition, and everybody in the crowd is enjoying it and having a good time based on your gifts and talents. And there's nothing like that. And it's just everybody enjoying in the music and the feeling, and it's addicting. Yeah, it is.
It's a good drug. I can only imagine too as well. No doubt about it. I tell you what, the single "Breaking in These Boots" is out there across all the digital platforms. Make sure you guys go check it out, download it, get some merch, hollytucker.com, all that good stuff. What's up next for the final performance?
Well, I figured I'd take it back just a little bit to about a year ago whenever I released this other song to radio from the album. This was actually my most successful single from any of my records, and it's called "Rhythm of You." It got to top 6 on the Texas charts. So
here we go.
Yeah,
here we
go. Plenty to do and nowhere to go. My kind of day, I'm gonna take it nice and slow and just groove to the rhythm of you. Yeah. I get to swaying and I'll tap my feet. You count it off just by looking at me, and I move to the rhythm of you. Yeah. I'm gonna let my hair fall down, get lost in a sweet, sweet sound. Every little whisper in my ear, baby, we can dance right here. Why don't you teach me how it goes? Boy, you can be my radio. I'm just gonna ooh, 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 to the rhythm of you. Hey, I got a quarter, could you play it again? Every time you kiss me like that, you make me wanna spend all afternoon in the rhythm of you. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna let my hair fall down, get lost in the sweet, sweet sound of every little whisper in my ear. Baby, we can dance right here. Why don't you teach me how it goes? Boy, you can be my radio. I'm just gonna ooh, 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 to the rhythm of you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna let my hair fall down, get lost in a sweet, sweet sound of every little whisper in my ear. Baby, we can dance right here. Why don't you teach me how it goes? Boy, you can be my radio. I'm just gonna ooh, 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 to the rhythm of you. I'm just gonna ooh, 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 to the rhythm of you.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely get front row seats to go see our friend, and let's make it a guys' night, Nick. Let's do a show with Holly Tucker. I'm there. I got the beer. You pick the seats, and she'll leave us some passes because I'm just dying to get out to a concert again.
Yes, come on with it.
let's do this. And I don't know what kind I'm going to drink, Modelo, Bud Light, whatever is probably on tap that night, but it'll be good. And there's a reason you put out the album. You're going to know my name because that was a great title for the album, Rhythm of You, top 6 on Texas country charts out there. Amazingly done. Well done. No, great vocals and just a great song, no doubt. We'll take a quick timeout. Last break here. Come back with a rapid fire. Yeah, we couldn't get out of here without doing that. More to come here with Holly Tucker live on the YouTube channel, The Backstage Pass. Go subscribe now. Get some merchandise, MitchMacs.com. You see the great shirt Nick is wearing. He's showing it off today. And of course, coffee mugs, men's, ladies apparel out there. Go get some Holly Tucker merch, hollytucker.com as well. And more to come here in rapid fire. We'll catch up on the hobbies and all the other cool stuff that she's been doing with that crazy busy schedule. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, it's Brandon, Nick. Of course, it is the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And did a ghost take over? We lost our guest.
Did we lose Holly? Where's she
Holly Tucker.
Yeah.
Oh, she comes back in and logs in. We got to do rapid fire with it, too. And I had a great question from David all the way in Cumbria over in England, too. He wanted to ask about the guitar she uses and how important is the guitar to her when she's writing and performing. Hope we get her back in here, too, as well. Hey, let me say this. The Houston Astros playing some baseball, finally caught the Yankees, and I think I would hold that thought here because she did log back in here. Some technical issues. We got her back, though, and I tell you, we got you're good. It's technology. It's a live show. It happens. We actually getting ready to talk about the Astros until we got you back. I'll ask you about that, too, as well, since you've been singing some national anthems with the Texas Rangers. But I'm going to go all the way to England. One of our just avid listeners out there, David, always asks a great question here. And Cumbria, it's pretty cool to be broadcast in England. I never thought I'd have my own show in England. But cool to have this and good questions like this, too. He wants to know about the guitar you use and how important is the guitar to you when you're writing and performing. Great question.
Well, so I don't know if you can tell right now, but I'm not the greatest, like the world's greatest guitar player. So I typically, honestly, when I'm writing, I feel like everybody in the room should use their best talents. And so I don't typically play whenever I'm writing with other people. Now, when I'm writing by myself and that's all I have, then of course I do that. But I do. Typically somebody in the room is way better than me at the guitar playing. But I love my Takamine. They don't make these beautiful anymore. They've been like, this brand just doesn't get made anymore. And Blake Shelton gave me this guitar. One little known fact is that, and I don't know if he still does this, but he would always, my season and before me, give his top 4 contestants on his team brand new Takamine guitars because he was sponsored by them. And so I've had this ever since the show. And it's my baby. I don't know what I'd do without it. Like, especially performing. I have really small hands. So it's got like a perfect tiny little neck for me where I can hit all the strings. And so, yeah, it's I don't know. Performing with other guitars is always weird. So I do definitely love this when I'm playing live.
There you go. Very nice. I want to ask you this. You know, you got a big, huge heart, and you have done a lot of things out there in Waco. Fuzzy Friends Rescue. That's where I got my dog at. I adopted my dog, and Meals on Wheels and American Heart Association. How important is that to give back to the community for you? It's
very important. I mean, if all we're doing is just taking and living for ourselves, then I mean, what are we really doing? I mean. For me, it's really just about loving on other people, and whatever I'm doing in the process of that, whether that's delivering meals or talking to people, praying with people, whatever. It's really just about showing them love and happiness and just goodness, kindness, because there's not enough of that. And so that's definitely very important to me in everything that I do.
All right, so I know you've sang at the Texas Ranger games, but let me ask you this. The best team in baseball, or at least tied for it now in the American League, is this hat I'm wearing too, and I want it to say Take 22. This was one of those Mattress Mac giveaways my brother surprised me with too after they won the championship in 17. Do you follow the Astros? And if so, this has been one hell of a season, right?
I gotta admit, you are catching me off guard here. I'm not a huge baseball follower. I'm sorry.
You're good, but you sing great at the Texas Ranger games. I've heard those national anthems go off with a bang. So I had to put you on the spot there too. That's why rapid fire, you never know what to expect. So we'll leave it at that too. But they are playing each other in Houston the next couple of nights. So you see my hat and who Nick and I root for, no doubt about it. Favorite food or drink? What have you gotten into lately? Anything new?
I'm on a jalapeno kick lately. When I say lately, I mean this last year. I love anything jalapeno flavored, which is so weird because I've never been able to handle spicy foods. And then this last year, I just want sriracha and jalapeno flavoring on whatever. And so much so that I went to South Padre this last weekend and I got some jalapenos stuffed with crab meat. And I didn't know that on the island there, they don't de-seed the jalapenos. And
Lord. Yeah.
I took a big old normal bite of the jalapeno with the crab, and it was the hottest thing I've ever eaten in my life. I was crying. I had to swoosh half and half creamer around in my mouth to get the pain off, because it was crazy. But yeah, so one of my favorite things right now is jalapeno chips. The kettle cooked brand, very important.
Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
Love that story.
Hey, what's your favorite thing to cook?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm kind of just in general on a low carb kind of thing to try to stay as healthy as I can. And I have carbs, but I just try to minimize them. So one of my favorite good but not good meals is keto enchiladas.
Okay.
So I get the low carb tortillas and I get mozzarella cheese, which is lower fat, and then I get the chicken and the enchilada sauce and stuff, and it's really, really good.
I'm gonna try those too because I'm not much of a keto person. I've tried it before and I just don't have the willpower to stick with that. But I commend you for that because that's all I eat in my house. And if I did away with those, it'd probably be the COVID weight would finally be off for good. But carbs are just tough because you're around it so much every day. Now let me ask you about this. Now, this is what I'm not into as much. Occasionally we'll sneak it in for a cheat day. Of course, me every day, cheat day. But sweets, I don't do too much sweets. For you, what sweets do you get into? Cake, ice cream? What do you like?
Man, you're really getting me in trouble with my trainer right now if he's watching, because I'm not supposed to have any of that.
Okay, well, we can point that question if they're tuning in. I can see if they're tuning in too as well. Hopefully they're not tuning in. Don't see a trainer, so that's good. That's good.
I'm gonna have to say, if I had to choose one thing, I think I would probably say a brownie. Brownies are a weakness of mine. But also something that's just a general weakness of mine is cereal. I love cereal, and it's chock full of sugar. So
yeah, that's a big deal for me. It's like they're great. Can't put them down. The old sugar cornflakes, the Kellogg's. It's bad, but man, I got a 2.5-year-old now, so it's whatever she likes, I pretty much eat the leftovers. You know how that goes. So
that's right.
What she doesn't eat, scrap off her plate. You know how that goes, Nick?
I know how that. I was going to ask you, Holly, dream destination, vacation. Where is it at?
That's another tough one. I think I'd either say Fiji or Greece.
Yeah, I love it. Greece is my list as well.
Wish I won that $1 billion jackpot the other day with the Mega Millions, and I'm like, that changed that person's life forever. So Fiji and Greece, and Man, a whole lot more, because that's all I'd be doing is vacationing with $1 billion of lotto money, no doubt. Well, I tell you what, the single is fantastic. I love it so much. We had to have you back on here too as well. And I can tell you this, my good friend Brandy Reed always makes it happen. RPR Media, if you're looking to get represented out there too, I'm going to throw her a shout out there because she deserves it. I got to see her in Nashville. We were there for a country radio seminar. We enjoyed that too, and hanging out with all the big stars. Stephanie Ryan, thanks for tuning in today. Got to hang out with you at some of the private shows we went to too as well. Always great to get out there and talk to you guys. You're gonna know my name, which is one of the albums out there, and of course, breaking in these boots. I'm like inventing titles now. Breaking in these boots from Holly Tucker's out there, the current single, and of course, you're gonna know my name is the latest EP. You have not heard the last from her. I know there's more to come too as well. Holly, appreciate the time. Always dropping us a vine and keep us posted on all the new music. Happy wedding, happy married life, children, all that good stuff, and may God bless you too as well.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me and for your time. And I appreciate your audience too. Thank y'all for listening.
You got it. And Valerie, I agree with that. It's every day is cheat day for me. I don't do diets. The price of groceries will trim us all down. That's about true too. If I was able to cook more, which would be nice, but takeout is always one of the easiest things to go to. Don't forget, coming up here in a couple of weeks, big promotion we're doing. Chris Cagle on the show. Andy Griggs is going to stop by. We're doing a big concert for Pedrati's Ranch in San Antonio, Texas, September 3rd, Saturday night. We'll talk more about that. Full Circle Moments, LLC.com. You'll get tickets there. I believe it's August 29th. If Chris Cagle is going to stop by, he will. One of those dates, 29th or 30th. And, of course, Andy Griggs that week as we go into the weekend of the concert. Vider Pirate football kickoff August 26th. Yours truly, Robbie Lynn and Kevin Mercado, Vider at Silsby. The call there, CajunCountryRadio.com. So a lot of things to look forward to coming up here. And, of course, more great artists. We may have one on Friday. We got more coming up next week here on the Backstage Pass. If you miss any episodes, the Sports Guys podcast.com and of course the YouTube channel are places to go to. Check out hollytucker.com and we'll see you guys on the flip side here on the Backstage Pass. Until then, have a terrific night. We'll see you soon.